Come on in. What up, y'all? I'm not gonna be before you long. I hope y'all can hear me. Well, I sound like I'm in church, but I want to say something. I'm not gonna be up here long, but I want to start this live off by saying to the people who are watching and to the people who will see this later, um, hold on, because I want to say it right. Having standards is not being difficult. Let me say it again. Having standards does not mean that you are difficult. Let me say it again. Having standards does not mean that you are difficult. Why am I saying this? Because oftentimes we get in situations where we have standards. Let's say it's work. Hey, let's say it's our price. Hey, this is how much I charge. I'm not really willing to bend. Somebody asks, could you come down a little bit? No. And then people may be like, oh man, he this or he that, or she this or she that. No, they just don't want to move on their price. Or somebody has worked hard to accomplish something and people want to take advantage of that and they won't allow them to. That does not mean that they are difficult. That means that they have standards and that standard does not make them difficult. So, does that make sense? I'm saying that because I want to encourage all creators, all creatives, all entrepreneurs, all people to be completely honest. Don't be afraid to have standards. And don't be don't be afraid to don't be afraid to what's the way to say it? Sometimes when you lift up a standard, you have to go through a season of what seems to be dry. You have to go through a season of what seems to not have opportunity. You have to go through a season of what seems to be not working. Because when you do have a standard and when you do have expectations and when you do set a bar for yourself and when you do stand for something, you have to weed out the people who are uncomfortable with that. Like when you're about anything and when anything goes and it don't matter, you can do a lot. It is easy to be busy when you are standardless. But when you have standards, that's when you have to be strategic, use your spirit of discernment, and trust God to bring to you the opportunities that align with your standards. There's nothing wrong with having them. There's nothing wrong with sticking by them. Understand that there is a cost. Sometimes it's going to cost you doing certain things, going out with certain people. It's going to cost you certain projects. You're not going to be able to be on them because when you stand for something, that might not align with what they stand with. Let's say, for instance, a client wants to hire you to do a certain thing. This is what you believe in. They want you to endorse a product that you don't use, that you think is unsafe for children. Even if they were going to give you a big bag, you have to say no because you have standards. Another thing about standards is negotiation. When it comes to like negotiating price or negotiating terms, standing firm on who you are and knowing your value can be intimidating to people who have come into a situation looking to take advantage of you. And it is easy to paint the picture. People love to paint the picture that you're being a difficult person when you don't allow them to take advantage of you. You easy to work with as long as you go with whatever they want to do. The moment you say, nah, I ain't feeling that. Nah, that ain't right in my gut. No, I can't accept that. Then they say you're difficult. No, you're not. You're not difficult because you want to negotiate to benefit you. You're not. Are there situations where you should take less to maximize an opportunity? Yes. But your gut will tell you when you're dealing with somebody who wants to do things fairly and when you're dealing with somebody that's trying to take advantage of you. And when you are in those situations when somebody is trying to take advantage of you, do right by yourself. And whatever they call you, however they feel, however, yeah, whatever they end up doing, you have to be okay with that. Like, I've been in situations where people didn't want to treat me fairly. It was records that I wanted to do, situations that I've wanted to be a part of, but I can't. If you're not going to do right by me, and if we can't like come to an agreement that's integral, that represents what I'm actually bringing to the table, we can't do this. And I'm going to risk being called difficult, and I want to challenge y'all to risk being called difficult if it means having standards and sticking by them, knowing your worth and not budging. Again, I will say there are times when budging are beneficial. There are times when budging is beneficial, but it is only beneficial in situations where you know the other party is not trying to get over on you. When you know, okay, I might have to give up a little bit of this because I'm partnering with this person. They're bringing a lot to the table. I wouldn't have this opportunity if it wasn't for them. This split, this negotiation feels fair. I'm going to roll with it. And then you build that relationship and you start to gain leverage to be able to negotiate differently. But when you go into situations and people have already predetermined that they are going to take advantage of you and you push back, there's nothing wrong with that. And I want to encourage everybody, if it means being difficult, be difficult, but fight for what you believe in, have standards, stand for what you know is right, and look out for yourself. I got to go, but I love y'all. As my wife would say, we're going somewhere. We don't know where we're going, but when we get there, we're going to celebrate together. I love y'all. Peace.